I know, you like to focus on all things Grizzlies, but just curious what was your reaction when you saw that trade with Luka going to the Lakers and AD going to the Mavs?
Yeah, very surprised. Obviously happened late at night, but was so focused on the Milwaukee game, didn't really have a lot of time to digest it. And I'm being from Dallas, all my friends are texting me for all the information, and I'm focused on the Bucks tonight, and then I got the Spurs tonight, so really haven't had a lot of time to digest it. But obviously, we'll see, what comes up for the Mavs and the Lakers.
Coach in the back, with those trades and them being in the West, how much more difficult is it going to make it for you guys going forward?
I will cross that bridge when we get there. When we play those teams, our focus has to be on us and remain on this. Obviously the Spurs just made a trade for De'Aaron Fox, heck of a player, and all these teams are trying to find ways to better themselves, just like us. We're right now just focused on this group right now, the work that we've been putting in on the court. Great road mentality last night. We had great road mentality against the Spurs a couple weeks ago, and we know they're going to come in here with an aggressive mentality, and it's going to be a 48-minute test for us against a really good basketball team. So our focus is on us, our day in and day out. That's all that matters right now.
Sure.
Is there any sense on Ja?
Still game time decision. Woke up, didn't see him this morning. We'll see how he goes, but I think he's trending in a good direction.
You mentioned the mentality last night. It felt like, that's the formula for this team. I guess what was it that you guys captured late in that game, and then how are you going to be able to roll that into a game like tonight?
Yeah, I think resilience is always in the core part of our DNA as a team, and I've been saying the last couple of weeks we're having to win games in different ways. The Bucks were playing extremely well, hitting a lot of threes. We were getting open looks that we weren't converting, but thankfully we're still getting to the paint and having some success there. And it's just a couple possession game, going into halftime and the start of the third quarter. And for us, it's about how do we continue to maintain our intensity offensively and defensively for 48 minutes. Even if things aren't clicking, shots aren't falling, teams are having a night, we will find a way to adjust, whether it's schematically or just chipping away, with what we do and playing our standard. And to see that our pace really picked up in the second half, we started getting a few more stops. They started cooling off a little bit. Having a fourth quarter like that was huge for us. You could just see a lot of guys just impacting it. It was, obviously stellar play from Tripp. Even though Luke and Des weren't knocking down a whole lot of shots, it was the playmaking with the assists or the rebounds, and then you get great contributions from BC, Santi, and then obviously Scotty. Scotty was huge for us, in that fourth quarter especially. So finding different ways, different guys stepping up, but playing to our standard, just being resilient. I thought the positive mindset throughout the game, the guys knew, hey man, it's just not going right now. Just keep chipping away. 48 minutes is what we talk about. So the fact that they were leading that and pushing each other along, that was really impressive.
Coach, this is kind of what you just touched on. Scotty, we talked a few weeks ago, and now he's 1 for 16 the last month shooting from three. Just what are you seeing from him at that reserve point guard position when his shot's not falling that helps? And then on the bigger picture with Tripp, his contract coming up again, to the Luka thing, they said tumultuous, everything with the contract coming up. Just can you talk to the relationships and how every situation is unique for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, with Scotty, it's just always finding a different way, like all of our guys. It's not always about shots falling. It's about just making an impact on winning. You look at Scotty, it's the pace that he plays with, improved playmaking, and then his defensive tenacity. How many 50-50 balls he came up with or generated just last night is huge for us. He was a game changer. I said it after the game to the team, and everyone recognized that. He comes in and he plays just with a tenacity, full speed, both sides of the floor, doesn't get phased. That's the kind of mental makeup we want within our group, and Scotty definitely embodies that. And obviously, we love Tripp. We'll cross all those bridges when we get there. He's having a stellar year, all-star. I think he's going to be an all-NBA guy because of all the work and the impact on winning that he has, and have an unbelievable relationship with him. And I know he loves this group, loves his team, and he cares so much about this city and this organization. You see why he invests so much and gives all of himself. So it's a blessing to have him on this group.
Taylor, what have you seen in terms of the progress from Marcus and Vince? I know they both were sort of upgraded to doubtful, sort of on the the come in terms of getting better.
Yeah, not expecting those guys tonight. They had a great session before the Milwaukee game, the day of the Milwaukee game. I think they had another one today, and we'll see, but they're getting close. So a lot of good progress, a lot of contact, full court play, half court play, high intense workouts. So they're trending in a really good direction.
Coach Jalen Wells typically gets one of the more difficult defensive assignments. What has he done as a rookie to earn that time and has allowed him to excel in that role?
I mean, there's a lot of different things. I mean, just consistency is probably one of the biggest things. He's very disciplined in executing our game plan. I mean, no one's ever going to have a perfect, execution from a game plan standpoint defensively against all the talent in this league. But the biggest thing that stands up, I've said it probably 1,000 times, is he just never gets phased. I mean, there was, Lillard hits a tough step back the other night against him, and he's just like, okay. And he goes, sprints to the other end and actually creates a 3 for his teammate. So he's not, thinking about anything negative, any mistakes. He's learning on the fly, comes back, and makes up for it just with his effort on the offensive side, locks down the next time on the defensive side. He's just focused on the next task at hand. He's very diligent about that. It's that consistency that I see for every moment that he's out on the floor, and embracing that defensive mentality at the end is the most important thing, that he wants to make an impact on the defensive side, especially as a rookie, as he's finding his, pathway early in his career.
Michael, then Clay.
With Desmond Bain being out today, is this just getting him some rest, or is it more to kind of his situation with his ankle and then going back to Ja? Like, what are some of the, I guess, final steps since he's game time? So like, what do you need to see in order to kind of clear him to play today?
Yeah, hitting Ja first, it's more just the mobility and comfort in there and just range of motion. He's been testing it out with the ball in his hands and on the court last couple of days. So it's obviously the shooting, ball handling's fine. It's passing, obviously, just arm angles. So those are the final markers that he'll hopefully clear here, the medical team. And then with Dez, he'll miss a little bit of time. It's nothing super long term. He had an MRI this morning, and it was more like a foot strain, which we found out, which was more positive news. So not really as much as the ankle from previously, but tweaked it enough that it's going to be a little bit of time. So timeline, not sure. We're still evaluating.
Any other questions?
Great. Thanks, everyone.